See. Uh-oh. So just some things that we wanted to touch base on. What a life coach is versus an academic advisor, transcripts, what a grad rec base year means and what your grade level is, about credits versus classes, the minimum versus a foundation plan. We'll talk a little bit about grad planning and your personal graduation plan, or PGP as we typically call it. We'll touch on state testing, hopefully talk about a timeline for you to get your diploma, and then we'll be able to answer any questions at the end. First is life coach versus academic advisor. And so if you're returning, you likely know what a life coach is. Everyone has one. And so the main duties of a life coach is going to be like your daily contact person. You're going to go to them for any and everything, and then they'll kind of connect you to who you need to see after that. They're going to be the ones who help you problem solve, help you with any barriers you're having. So right now I know it's different. So like if you're having technology issues and you're needing a computer, those are things you'll go to your life coach for. Your attendance, they're going to be the ones really staying on you about your attendance, alongside of your teachers, of course. If you're not able to attend classes, like you're going to want to talk to your life coaches about that and see like if you can come up with a plan to figure out what will help you be successful in attending classes. Something new this year, especially with everyone being virtual, is that life coaches are going to try and do more of a group coaching thing. I know the day life coaches have already started this. I'm not sure about the night life coaches, but basically it's a Zoom meeting, another Zoom meeting where you're getting with your life coaches and also the other students that they serve, and they're basically giving you information all at once versus sending out text messages and things like that, just because we are not in person right now. And so, yeah, your life coach is just going to be that go-to person, like case management stuff, those kinds of things. And then you have your academic advisors, which are me and Alea. And so we are covering both the day and the night campuses. And so we are going to be the ones who help you with your academic goals. We'll be the ones doing scheduling. We're going to figure out your transcripts. If there's any errors, we're going to get those fixed. You'll meet with us. I believe we said every other term we're going to shoot for to do your grad planning. And there is like a priority system. So if you're a senior, you get priority. If you receive childcare, or if you're in the special programs and receive services from special programs, then you're priority. But we do plan on meeting with every student. And for students who don't speak English or have any type of language barrier, we are hoping that we will have someone there to like translate for us, because we really want to serve every student to the best of our ability. And then we'll also talk with students about STAR testing, which is the fun stuff. Yeah. Alea, do you want to talk a little bit about transcripts? And I can jump in on kind of what I was thinking if you need me to.
Yeah, for sure. And I know Lindsay probably can't see the chat. Sorry. I'm just gonna say that somebody had asked a question about their grade level in grad recs. So we've been told in the past that that's, you know, not always accurate. So don't get too attached to whatever your grade level says in Skyward, because most of the time it's wrong. I think they're working on some accuracy things to make sure that's up to date, but as of right now, it's not. So don't get freaked out if it says 9th grade and you know you have 5 credits left.
Right.
Most of the time.
That's a good point. Good question for sure. And we'll touch more on that later on in the presentation.
So transcripts, so the way that our school receives and processes transcripts is whenever you come into the school as a new student, you can bring your transcript. It's better to bring an official transcript because that's what the registrars go off of. If you bring a unofficial transcript, then, you know, we as academic advisors can go over and show you what you probably got credit for. But the official that comes from the school that's signed by the actual registrar from the prior schools that you went to is what you will actually receive credit for. So it's best to get an official. So what happens is if you don't bring an official transcript, our registrar department will request a transcript from all of your prior schools. So if you went to 4 prior high schools, there's a database that will get all of your grades from those prior schools, and they will filter in your credits. So it's kind of a registrar thing. So you guys can feel free to ask us about it, like where's my transcript, when is it coming in, all that stuff, and then we can connect with them. But it's usually a 2 to 4 week process. So if you are a new student, just kind of bank on your transcript coming in 2 to 4 weeks. If you are a returning student, we probably already have your transcript, and then we'll just be meeting with you to go over those credits. And I know that Lindsay and I both are going through credits because sometimes credits don't filter right. Sometimes there's certain credits that you can get in replace of a class. So we try to pay attention really close to that so you don't have to retake something that, you know, you got credit through another class for. And so that's kind of the difference between unofficial and official. Official is something that the registrars use to actually give you the credit, and unofficial is kind of just a guide for academic advisors to see kind of where you were at so you don't have to repeat classes.
And another thing to add for that is a lot of times we'll see 2 grades, like let's say you took Algebra 1A and Algebra 1B and you passed 1A with a 90 and you failed Algebra 1B with a 60, like we can average those grades and then you'll get the full credit. So those are things that we're looking for whenever we do receive your transcripts. And this is mainly for new students. If you're a returner, like we already have your stuff in the system. So back to grad rec base year and grade level. So your grad rec base year is the year you would have graduated based on your date of birth. So we have a spreadsheet, we put in your birth date, and then it'll populate a year. So this is important because it lets us know which plan you fall under. So we have our minimum plan and our foundation plan. It also lets us know which state test that you'll be taking. And so your grade level, as Alea mentioned earlier, like right now, if you are to look in Skyward, if you're a new student, it'll probably say like, I don't know, 9th grade. I think everyone coming in is 9th grade because we don't have transcripts yet. We don't have any information. So that's just what it defaults to. So don't pay attention to grade level. Like we honestly don't even really look at it. We more look at credits and what classes you have remaining. So students always freak out about it, but I'm telling you, like, don't stress about your grade level. Again, just focus on the number of credits you have and like the number of classes you have remaining. You want to take this one, Alea? Sorry.
So grad planning, this is probably one of my favorite parts about this job because it leads us to the ultimate goal of your graduation date. So a grad plan is basically, it is a form that has all of the classes that we offer on a paper. And so what we do is we go through your transcript and we pick out the classes that you need. So my process is kind of like, I'm going through your transcript, I'm going to check off all the classes that you've already taken, and then I highlight what you need so you can see exactly what you have left. And so based on, like, all we can do is estimate, obviously, especially in this COVID world, but we kind of take the classes that you have left and divide that by however many you can take and the terms that we have per year. And that will get you your estimated graduation date. So in your grad plan, you'll be able to see what's checked off, what you've already taken, and then you'll be able to see what classes you need left. And then say you want to take 3 classes per term and we have 5 terms. Whatever that is, that's a lot of thinking, but whatever that is, we'll be able to give you an estimated graduation date of a particular term. So yes, and then let me read her little point to see if, yeah, so like if you had any questions about credits, I know sometimes I meet with people and they're like, you know what, I think I'm missing some credits. We can always get with registrars and try to speak to your prior schools to see where those credits went. If not, we will I'm telling you, we'll go all the way to TEA if we have to, if you feel like you're missing credits. So yeah, we'll set an appointment. We're going to try to set an appointment with everybody to go over this, and you will actually get this back. So in this virtual world, we'll probably send you a picture or something, but you'll have your grad plan. So the whole term, you will know that this is what I've taken and this is what I have left. We'll also be discussing like scheduling during this. So grad planning and scheduling go hand in hand. I won't go too much in this. Do you have a slide for scheduling? Or can I talk about it?
You can talk about scheduling. Yeah, I didn't have a slide.
Okay, perfect. So the good thing about doing your grad plan meeting and scheduling at the same time is that you're currently looking at exactly what you need left. So we'll have the schedule for the next term out, and then you can kind of make your schedule then. So we don't have to have two separate appointments and take up more of your time. So we'll do scheduling and grad planning. As long as we have the schedule available, we'll be doing those at the same time.
Really quick, this is just a copy, and this is an older copy of our personal graduation plan. So if you look, this is classes that you would need if you're on a minimum or foundation plan, which everyone is on one. This is an old example. And so this is what Alea was talking about when she said we go and check off what you have. And that way you have a visual of what you're needing. And when we're in person, we give these to students. Virtually, it's a little bit more difficult. We can always send it to you via email, but we do keep these in the file. And with each term, we just go through and mark off which classes you passed. If you didn't pass a class, and we'll just make note that you have to take it again. But yes, it's really nice to have that visual for students.
And just to be clear, like, I know that's probably overwhelming to look at, but just know, like, not every person needs all of these classes. It depends on what plan you're on and, like I said, what you've already taken.
Right. So we have our minimum and foundation plan. I didn't include any information on this slide because it's kind of hard to talk about. It really depends on your grad rec base year. And so I will say that our foundation plan is for our younger students. So maybe like 20 and younger.
18, yeah, 20.
18 to 20 fall under the foundation plan. And so you'll take more classes if you're under the foundation plan. So just an example, under the foundation plan, you have to take foreign languages, you also take an advanced science and an academic elective, which it really depends on each student. So I didn't want to get too far into this, but if you are curious to know what plan you fall under, you can always ask either your life coach or your academic advisor. And I can just touch on this real quick, Alea.
Okay.
State testing, everyone has to take it unless you are exempt from it. And there are a couple of different ways to be exempt from it, and your academic advisor will let you know if you are. So state testing is also based on your grad rec base year. So if you are a younger student, then you're definitely going to be under that STAR test. So you'll be taking 5 tests, which include English 1, English 2, Algebra 1, Bio, and US History. If you are an older student who would have graduated, a while back, it's nice for you because you would fall under either TOS or TEAMS. And so you're only required to take 2 of those tests versus the 5. And so again, that is something that Alea and I will be tracking, and we'll be, talking with you about it as you go through your classes. You are not able to take like your English 1 test until you finish that complete English 1 credit. And same for all of the tests that are on here. You have to take both parts of like English 1A and English 1B before you're eligible to take that STAR test.
And something else to note, I just want to add, is that kind of like Lindsay was saying, there's a STAR, TAKS, and TOS. So honestly, everybody ends up taking the STAR because that's the test that's offered right now. But say you fall under TAKS, you will be scored under a TAKS level. So whatever the minimum score for passing is for TAKS, even though you're taking STAR, that number. So you don't have to meet the STAR level number.
That's correct. And that is something that you don't have to worry about. We'll see it on our end. Actually, like, it's scored and calculated before it even gets to us. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that part. If we ever like notice that it was not scored right, that is something that we'll catch and bring up. And as of right now, STAR test is still on. We have not heard anything different yet. And so the first STAR test will happen in December, and then we have the next one in April, May. I believe English happens in April, and then May, the other three. And then June is like our makeup session for STAR testing. So I think that's it for now, but we're definitely open to any questions that you may have.
And before we take questions, say like we kind of told you guys like what our role is and what the difference is between a life coach, but other than us setting up appointments with everybody to do your grad plan and your scheduling, you're going to go to your life coach for everything. If you need a schedule change, if something is going on to where it's even like our job, you're still going to go through your life coach. And we do that because a lot of times we want the life coach to always be involved, and we want the life coach to know what's going on. So if you're like, I need to change my schedule, and then you go to your life coach and tell them, you know, you guys will be able to explore like, I don't know, barriers or anything like that. So we just always want the life coach to be involved. So the best way to do that is for you to go directly to them and then come, and then they'll direct you to us. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, go for
I
it.
do. Yeah, so how many recommended credits do we need in order to graduate?
So it depends on your grad plan, and it depends on, your grad plan and how many classes. I think the standard is what, Lindsay, 22 credits?
22
But
is
like
typically the standard, but I've seen 18 or 21. It really just depends on that grad rec base year.
which we'll go over when we meet with you.
Oh, because, okay. I was just asking because I'm already past the 22, and I asked my life coach and he said that I need 27. For me, that seems like that's a lot. But I mean, I will have to discuss that, you know, when it gets to time.
Yeah, we'll for sure go. And I know that a lot of people, some people come in with all of their credits, but then we, like the Excel Center has their own credits to fulfill. So that could be something too that could put people over, because, you know, you did your core work credits, but then, you know, Excel has maps, Excel has, I don't know what, career readiness.
Yeah.
Those are like our school requirements. So that could add some credits as well.
And then, hey y'all, I just crashed your thank you so much for Lindsay and Alea to spend some time with us. Everyone has a personalized graduation plan that they're talking about. And so you can graduate with more credits. That's not bad. And so I think it depends on a lot of things for the individual. And so that will influence what your credits are. Like for me, if I was returning, I would see Ms. Mota for Foundations of Math. And I would probably see her for Foundations of Math 2 times, because I would need to review a lot. And so that is an Excel class. We do that because people are coming in and they need different things to kind of refresh their memory and things like that. So that would be an additional credit that is not a state requirement per se, but it is something that Excel says, hey, we have had the benefit of experience and students need this refresher work to then move on to the additional math classes. So that's an example of where students will get additional classes. And the base year, I'm sure y'all said this already, but your base year is the year that you would have graduated high school. And so if you're thinking, okay, if I would have graduated in 1985 or 1990 or, well, I don't know, whatever those years are, then, or 2010, God, that's like realistic, like that can happen. I am 100, you guys, I'm 100. So you could actually look at what would happen and what did students need at that time to graduate from X high school in X town. And so that's going to be, yes, absolutely. And we have classes that each class, because we're on an accelerated program, I'll give an example, like English 2, English 1, Algebra 1, biology. In a traditional high school, those are giant classes. You are in them for a full year or a full semester. That means 16 weeks. We have accelerated terms, which are 8 weeks. So that means that if you are going to take English 1 and you take English 1A, you took half of that class. You still need the other half. So that is English 1B. Put those together and I have 1 full credit. And I have 1 full credit. So that is, I'm taking 2 classes, but I am equaling 1 credit. The reason we do that is long time ago when we first started, we used to teach these classes 8 weeks, full Monty, the whole thing in 8 weeks. Our students were not happy with us because we were in class for 90 minutes, sometimes 120 minutes, and we were teaching everything in that class in 8 weeks. Ouch. Ouch for me and for them. And so what we found was it's better if we spread it out a little bit, and students will actually get the benefit of having more time working with the content and they learn it better. And what would happen is they would fail less times, truly. That would be it. They would get through it 1 time and it was fine. So those are ways when classes and credits look a little different than you might be thinking. So just to add some support to what Lindsay and Alea have already said. And we're so lucky to have them focusing on your academics and your plans and things like that. So yeah, please think about, those things. And this is your personalized learning team. Think about that. Like, I didn't have that in high school. I went to pretty good high school. Like, we had to figure it out, tough it up, whatever. So this is a great thing that you're having. So as these questions come up over time, please jot them down, things like that, because we really want to help educate students, because when you go on to your future learning, you're going to be able to know, hey, I need to have a conversation about my academic plan if I'm going to ACC or if I'm going on to a technical school or things like that. This is kind of the language of future education. So, as you have questions, please, please, ask them. They're all good. Thanks. All right, I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna leave you guys alone now. Okay, thank you for your part.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Ms.
You're
Clarkson.
amazing. You're awesome. You're welcome.
Thanks
Okay,
for dropping
bye.
in. Rebby, do you still have a question?
I see a question in the chat about when you'll know if your transcript was received. You can definitely just ask your life coach, and it's simple. They just log in to see if it was received or if it was requested. So yeah, I would just ask them. You can send them a text, call them.
I have a question. So my graduation time was probably 2004. But I see you say there's a difference between minimum and foundation. Do I have to do the minimum, or can I get in the foundation program? I would rather learn more before I leave.
Well, I think you're actually on my caseload for academic advising. And to answer your question, your grad plan is based off of that year. So we can't change that, but you're welcome to take as many classes as you want. That's your choice. So they would just count as elective classes. So it's something that you don't need, but if you want them, you can take them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially once we go back to in-person classes, you can sign up for as many classes that'll fit your schedule that you want, with this online stuff, we're trying to restrict students to just a couple classes just because it's so different and it's so much crazier from what it's been in the past. And last year we had people get overwhelmed by taking even only 3 classes at a time. But that's awesome. Thank you, Revy, for being so gung-ho and wanting to get the most out of the Excel Center. Anybody else have any credit schedule type questions for our wonderful academic advisors? They are here to do their best to answer them.
And if there aren't any more questions, I was gonna say that I kind of wanted to ask you guys what would be easiest, because soon we're gonna start wanting to schedule appointments to do the PGPs and meet with you guys and go over your credits and things like that. So I guess, would it be easier for us to come to advisory and schedule, or like we can reach out to you guys? Because you're on, I mean, one of 2 caseloads, it's either Lindsay's or mine. So we can reach out to you guys and see what time works for you. Or I don't know if Ms. Clarkson was saying like we could use advisory as a time to do PGPs and scheduling. So that's something we can work out with Mr. Stanley or academic or advising teachers.
I would love for you to reach out to me. Can you call me tomorrow?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, me too, please. Because I have like a different case. I'm not from here. I'm from Morocco, and yeah, I have a problem. Like I'm struggling to get my transcripts. I didn't only graduate. I was in the 12th grade in my country. I didn't only graduate, and so I don't know. Like if you can reach out to me tomorrow, or I'm available like during the day. So thank you so much.
All right. So I have a couple. I set up a question in our advisory classroom, and so there are a couple good ones that people brought up wanting to know. One of the main ones was if it's in between their graduation meetings with you guys, what should they do if they want to know how close they are to graduating, or how many credits they have left to go, or what year they'll be graduating? Who should they reach out to with those kind of questions?
They should definitely reach out to their life coach, because either they're going to know the answer or they're going to ask us and we'll be able to look it up and tell them, and then they can tell the student. Because I know that we're trying to do like testing and scheduling and all this stuff. So we want to make sure we have enough time for everybody. So me and Lindsay are going to be mostly appointment only, but we definitely want to address everybody's concerns or anything like that. So I know that we kind of decided that high priority, like if you're a senior and you're like, hey, I think I'm missing the credit, I'm supposed to graduate this term, we're going to get you in immediately. But if you kind of have a long way to go and those are questions you're just wondering, we're going to eventually get, to that PGP appointment, or if it's a quick question, the life coach can definitely reach out to us and we'll get that answered.
And can life coaches look up some of that information on Skyward? Like if a student just has a quick, like, hey, can you remind me again, like how many more terms I have?
Yeah, because we, our PGP is actually a shared doc. So all of us have access to it. I think even probably teachers, but obviously they would want to go to their life coach and the life coach could look it up and it'll have that information in there.
And life coaches, like we all used to do this last year. So they know all of this information. It's not like brand new information. So life coaches will understand. And as Alea said, like we share a database, so they'll easily be able to look up something. But if it's something more specific, then they'll send you our way and we'll get to you.
So yeah, so life coaches are the person to go to those kind of questions, not your science teacher, Mr. Stanley. You can ask me if you want, but a question is going to be, I don't know, I just teach science class.
I got a question. I didn't know we had to answer questions in advisory on the classroom thing. I just thought we had to show up
Well, I mean, since
Y'all
you're here, you
springing
don't
stuff
have
on me. I
to.
ain't even look at it.
Since you're here, Rebbe, you don't have to ask one. It was mostly for people who would maybe not be here. So way to be here. You're killing it.
Okay.
All right. Another question somebody had on the advisory class page was about if they have mostly been taking credits at day school, is it easy to also take some credits at night, or vice versa? If they've mostly been taking credits at night, is it easy to take some classes in the AM school?
You mean like if the credits will transfer back and forth? Is that kind of what they were asking?
Kind of, well, just like if they normally take night classes, how easy is it for them in a future term to get signed in for day classes?
So easy, especially right now that we're virtual. Like we have students who are, taking day classes and night classes. It's really easy. It will again be a conversation that you have with your life coach just to kind of see like what, like why you're wanting to switch. Is it work related? Is there a barrier that they can help you resolve? So those types of things. But yeah, it's simple to switch in between the two. I will say if you're taking more night classes, then they'll most likely want to keep you with the night life coach, and vice versa. If you're taking more day classes, and you'll stay with the day life coach just because they'll be more accessible to you when you're on campus, or they're working when you're actually doing school. So good question.
Well, luckily, it looks like a lot of the questions on this page are about stuff we've covered already in terms of like how do I know when I'll graduate? How many credits do I have? One person had a pretty awesome question, I thought. Do you ever get overwhelmed with so many students asking the same questions over and over again?
Never. No, I feel like students' comfortability in their graduation plan and their process and their time here is what's most important. So I don't care if you ask the same question 50 times. If I know the answer, I'm going to give it to you. Because like I said, your comfortability and your understanding of like why you're in school and how much you have left, because a lot of the times that's people's motivation. So if you ever have questions, it could be the same question 50 times. Just ask it if you want to know it.
For sure, especially right now, like things are so confusing, even for the staff, as far as attendance goes and this whole Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing and Tuesday, Thursday. So like Alea said, ask questions, like that's what we're here for. No, we don't get overwhelmed. We're pretty good at organizing and time management. So ask away.
And again, if you want good answers to your questions, make sure you ask your life coach or the academic advisor during your graduation meeting, because you're free to ask us those questions, but I don't know. I don't have the answers. That's a life coach kind of question. Let me think. That was mostly wrapped up most of the questions that people seem to have, at least some of the most common ones that weren't about a specific situation for them. So it sounds like you guys will be starting to reach out to students in the coming weeks to schedule the one-on-one graduation plans with everybody.
That is correct. Now that we've got a census that people would prefer us to reach out to them personally, we will definitely start getting on that, because I think we're kind of getting settled with this term and schedule changes and things like that, so we can definitely start making PGP appointments to make sure everybody kind of sees where they're at and what they want to take and when they can take classes next term.
Yes, and hopefully we have term 2 schedule ready when these appointments start, so you have an idea of what your schedule will look like. But yeah, we will be reaching out soon, so just hang in there. And if you have questions, just ask your life coach.
Alrighty, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you everybody for showing up to Advisory today. Hopefully you found this super informative and illuminating, especially because literally most of the questions on that advisory page were about how do I know when I graduate? How do I know how many credits I have. So just to reiterate, any sort of questions like that, you can always reach out to your life coach. And if it's a simple kind of basic question, they might be able to look up the answer within a couple minutes and get back to you. If it's a little bit more complex, they can reach out to Alea or Lindsay, who should be able to find the types of answers that you're looking for. Also, keep an eye on your school communications in the coming weeks for an invite to have your one-on-one graduation plan meeting with Alea or Lindsay, which is where they will be more than happy to answer all sorts of questions you have about credits, scheduling, graduation years, graduation plans, all that sort of fun stuff. So does anybody have final last minute questions before we wrap it up? Yes, Rep.
We do. Okay, is this meeting going to be like a Zoom meeting or a phone call?
It could be either. So I could, like, if you need to see the graduation plan while we're talking about it, I send it to you after. So it's just really what people are available to do. So if you're available to Zoom, we could do that. If it's a phone call, that's easy too. So it could be either or.
So y'all will send us like a link to let us know?
Yeah, if we end up deciding that a Zoom is best for whoever we're working with, we'll definitely send you a Zoom to your school email, so you'll know what time and the date and everything.
Okay.
I prefer a Zoom so I can see what you're talking about. And are you sure you're going to contact me tomorrow?
I promise.
Okay. I'm done.
I'm so thankful that you guys came in to talk to our advisory, because I think as students, it's just such peace of mind to like see that path laid out in front of them. You guys know, you work in the day as life coaches before. It's just like to have that clear path put out in front of you. It just creates just such a peace of mind and lessens the anxiety. Once we know that the path that they're on, I think that alleviates a lot of the what ifs and all the questions and helps our students just be able to focus on the learning. So this is so awesome. I'm so excited that we have this new team to like lay out the path for our students' graduation. And you guys are just, I'm so thankful that you're part of this, and our students are just, it's going to be even better for them. So this is great.
Yay, thank you for
You guys
having
are awesome.
us.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you a lot.
All right. So thank you guys again so much for being here. Y'all are awesome and doing awesome work. Just to wrap it up, I have been recording this Zoom call. So if later on, maybe you want to go back and see some of the information that they were going over at the beginning when Lindsay had her nice big PowerPoint up, I'll be posting this in the advisory Zoom room later on, probably tonight or tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow, we don't have advisory scheduled, but for the Monday, Wednesday people, I believe you guys are going to be doing something similar tomorrow with the Wednesday advisory people. Is that right?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So if you want to go to advisory again tomorrow, if you want to kind of review some of the information, or if you think of a question in between now and then that you want to ask in person, you're always welcome to attend the Wednesday advisory meeting, even if you're not specifically scheduled for Wednesday advisory. We'll be going over a lot of the same stuff that we talked about today, but if you want a refresher or you want to ask a question that you thought of, you can always go to that as well. Thank you so much to Lindsay and Alea for being here. Thank you all of you guys for coming to advisory and being so focused on your attendance and getting stuff done. That wraps it up for our advisory class tonight. I'll leave the Zoom open for a couple minutes if anybody has any last minute questions that they want to stick around and ask. But that'll do it for all of us for advisory today. So feel free to head out, and we will see you all back for our Thursday advisory, same time, 2 days from now.